start off super well for DRX. I'm going to talk a little bit about why by talking about everyone's favorite thing, early jungle pathing. You're going to see here, Peanut gets spotted invading, so Pioshik is actually going to go up and invade on the opposite side. The only problem is, down in bot lane, right down here, Peanut's gonna show here basically, and they've pushed this wave up, right? So Peanut comes down, he's able to cover, we can play it, yeah, there we go. So they get backed off, this wave gets kind of frozen right up here, and they get completely pushed off of it, right? Meanwhile, Pioshik had already swapped away from where they'd pushed in early. He does show up here, and they have this play that they kind of fumble a bit, almost get it. But the most important thing happens here where Ruler ends up getting the first blood, and this is massive in a Caitlyn Lux lane, which we've talked about, the difficult
damage for the execute on the Wolf to finish it off didn't end up happening, and so I thought they were playing scared. I thought that they were on the back foot completely.
That's very much what it felt like, but one of the great strengths of DRX's comp is its range, its ability to find single targets and catch them out, and I think that they did a really good job of doing that as we entered the mid game. Peanut had an uncharacteristic performance where he was overstepping and he was being repeatedly punished. A lot of that credit needs to go to Kingen, but the rest of the team did a great job of just capitalizing off of these small picks. I do think DRX could have been a little more aggressive. I think this was a big window where they could have forced something like a Baron, but overall I think that the way in which they leveraged their comp, the very long range that they had, the incredible pick tools to split apart Gen.G, it all came together to kind of separate and slow Gen.G down.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I want to give, obviously, Zeka here absolutely beasts this fight, despite the fact that Ruler does cleanse, ends up getting out. It splits the fight up, so they're able to turn. Zeka gets that kill, then lands this sick charm onto Ruler to get him out of the fight. The way he played these fights was so good.
I'll say it again, say it at the top of the day, just Kingen and Zeka, these two solo laners, these two young solo laners for DRX, never finish higher than 4th anywhere, regionally, in playoffs, in regular season, and suddenly they're top 4 in the entire world, continuing to make insane plays against this team they hadn't been able to beat, that everyone considers has 2 of the best carry players in the entire world in Ruler and Chovy, these godlike players who have all these more accomplishments and then more experience. They're still the ones finding these insane plays.
Yeah, and that's where, like, obviously, Zeka deserves a ton of credit. I do think Kingen had a really good performance in this game. He obviously had a rough time in the first game, but that is also Kingen being at the front line, splitting up these fights along with Zeka, is actually what allowed the Caitlyn Lux to play from the back of the fight, right? Like, no one could get on them, despite the fact that they started off getting massively behind to Ruler in lane.
And Betty, is for Zeka to do it on the Ahri pick into a Sylas pick for DRX.
Yeah, and inherently when you look at DRX, it is always a team effort. It's just that in these pivotal moments, this man is a playmaker. I used that reference earlier, whereas Chovy is that calm, calculated, pristine perfectionist in a way. This is a man that will just flash in your face and he will make the play. Zero hesitation. He has nothing but confidence behind him.
And Barrel immediately flashing forward, waiting on the binding, but the binding goes wide. Ahead, still standing. One, looking for more stacks in the mounting dread, but they cannot find the kill. Only the summoner spell on Ruler firing back. Oh man, he's a monster.
The 2v3 turned in favor of Gen.G.
Ruler has no flash. This could be a big,
has the cleanse,
this could be a big damage. The cleanse from